Hello there, welcome back to our Language Mantras channel. This is Advanced English course number 6. This is in fact a continuation of the previous session. In our previous session, we discussed how to write an application for a job. Now this is how to write a biodata. These two things are very interlinked. Every application is expected to be accompanied by a biodata. Therefore, we should treat these two things together. Now, we come to how to write a biodata, or say other names are there, Curriculum Vitae and also Resumé. So there are three names: Curriculum Vitae, biodata and Resumé. Now these three things mean almost the same. It is just a kind of statement that gives your information, what kind of education you have, what kind of training you have, what are the main strengths you have as a candidate for a job. These are the things that are incorporated in a biodata or a curriculum vitae or resume. Curriculum Vitae, it's a Latin term. It means, course of life. But here in this specific case, it is the kind of information that you want to convey to an employer for a job. Biodata almost means the same thing. You have to incorporate your education, your interest, your capabilities, all these things. Resume also the same thing, but resume is considered to be a shorter version of curriculum vitae. So these are the basic difference, but don't give much importance to this difference. It means almost the same thing, because when you apply to some employer, what happens? He is not expected to go through all the papers you submit. Just have a look at the biodata you supply, and that means that would help him have an idea of the candidate, and on the basis of that he is either interested in you or may not be interested in you. So we come straight to our main topic, that is how to write a biodata. It is something like writing a letter. You take a paper. Commonly A4 size paper is popular nowadays for all these things. A4 size paper means this kind of a paper, and all four sides will have 1 inch margin. That is very important. And there are two columns here, you follow it. Two columns mean one column, first column there are some subheads and dates, etc. And in the second column, that is broader, give the exact information you want to convey. So first begin with the second column. Of course, on the top of the paper you must write CV or biodata or resume, just one of them, the one that is asked for by the employer. So you have to write your name and address, telephone number and email ID. First your name, official name, the name that is registered in your certificates. So Alexander Duma, it's just an imaginary name. Then 1928 Decker Lane, etc. etc. So you give your full address. Then you have to give your telephone number. Then of course email ID, so that in case they communicate to you, you must be receiving those things. That is one. Then on the right side or on the left side, whichever suits you, you give a photograph, that is passport size photograph. That is very important nowadays. Now, so your name, address and your photograph, very personal thing that is done. Now education. Begin with the highest education. If you have master's degree, then begin with master's degree. 2018 to 2020. This is an imaginary, formation. So 2018 to 2020, MA, MCom, MTech, the name of the examination you have given, and then name of the university. Then percentage of marks you have obtained there. Number 2 again, 2015 to 2018, BA, BCom, BSc, BTech, whatever. Then name of the university, then percentage of mark. Number 3 again, 2013 to 2015, HS or any equivalent examination you have given, the name of the board or university, percentage of mark. This way you just give your formal education. Now number 2, training. If you have any specific training that has something to do with the kind of job you are applying for, that is very much important. You must give the name of the training center or the year first, of course, year first. This way, the way we have arranged education, the same way you can arrange your training. If you have more than one training, the latest one would come first, then the second one, then experience. Experience means job experience. If you have done similar jobs, somehow related to the job you are applying for, so that is also important here. So you write experience, the tenure means duration of your experience, etc. Then language. Language means maybe if you have a mother tongue and if you know any other language other than your mother tongue, second language, third language, etc. So language, Bangla, English, French, whatever you know. If you don't know anything, just one language, maybe it's Bangla or English or whatever. Now interests. Here we have football, photography. Interest means something other than curricular activities you have done or you are interested in. That is interests. Maybe your hobby is the other word for interests. Actually, your interest is something that is very important for employer may want to see what kind of other things you are interested in. That actually gives some idea of a person, and maybe this information or bits of information will help the employer to decide in your favor. Now, reference. The last part, reference means you must give a name of at least 2 persons, unless otherwise stated. 2 persons means they know you very well. They will speak in your favor. Customarily, the first name is given, that is your teacher, who is very much, who knows you very well, well-known person, and his address, phone number, and email ID. These things are also important because in case your employer wants to communicate to those people, they can refer back to the employer. Now, second name, almost the same thing, name, address, phone number, email ID. This person may not be a teacher, maybe somebody else also, somebody who knows you well in your locality. So, give them all information you have so that they can write back to the person who intends to get some information of yours from them. So, this is what is the basic structure. Now, we have something else to say, that is date of birth, marital status, and children, whether you would give your date of birth or not. If you give it, there is no problem. But normally an American employer may not be much interested in your date of birth, in your marital status, or the number of children you have. But in England, maybe they are a little bit more conservative. In this case, they want to know your date of birth. Even marital status, they don't mind it. So if you are writing an application for a job, that concern has something to do with England or they follow English pattern, then you must mention your date of birth and marital status, including number of children you have. Now, number 2, photocopies of document with English translations. If if you're writing the application in English, in that case, you have to translate something into English if you have a document that is not written in English. Suppose you have a certificate of, say, some kind of recognition in any field whatsoever, and that is written in Bengali language, and you are writing your application in English. In that case, your Bengali certificate should be translated into English and it will be attached with your papers, documents. Now, we have missed to include 2 or 3 things here. That is publication. If you have published any book or you have published any article, you must mention them. And so publication, where to mention? After education or after training or after experience, no matter. It must be mentioned in a suitable position wherever you feel suitable. So publication means first number 1 is date, the year, publication year, say 2020. Then the name of the book, and finally the name of the publisher. Then seminar and workshop, almost the same thing. If you have attended any workshop, any seminar, then give the date first, then university, college or any workshop, company. That is important, that you have something, some experience, at least some knowledge of the kind of job you are going to do. That is very necessary. Or internship, this is also important. Internship means you have worked somewhere as a trainee. That actually gives an idea to the employer that you are somehow familiar with the procedure. This is also important. So this way you can incorporate whatever you have to show to them. It is important to show that you are a capable person for the job. Unless you can prove it, your application will be summarily rejected and you won't be asked to come for an interview. So you will lose the first battle. So take care of that. Write a very good biodata. It should have some aesthetic appearance, and the employer would be happy to read it and ask you to come for an interview. So this much today. You prepare a very good biodata for yourself and keep it ready. Whenever you apply, you can submit the same thing, no problem. So in case you have any problem, please write to us. We'll be happy to write back to you. And one further request, that you should view our channel. You should try to share it with your friends and try to subscribe. Okay, so this much today. Thank you very much. Bye.